Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are already going to the day 3 of our holiday, right? In the previous 2 days, we're talking about the different type of question, argument, and the sequencing. Today, we're going to be talking about the most challenging type of question in thinking skill, which is a problem solving, right? Yeah, I see some of you keep watching each of the videos I published. Thank you very much. If my videos can help you a little bit in prepare and review your questions, that can be very, very encouraging to me. Okay, let's go to the questions we're going to discuss today. So today we're going to talking about the problem solving process. Like I said, why the problem solving is the most challenging type of question is because it's the whole process, which means in the whole process, no matter which part we fail to operate, and then it's going to be leading us to guess the wrong question for the whole problem solving, right? So that's why we have to go through each part of the session to see what is the abilities and what is the skills that we need for each part of this whole process. Before we start, some of the parents send me these photos, which is encouraged me a lot. That means all my efforts, all my passions, all my devotions that will be gonna be paid for, right? That's what exactly I'm hoping. As long as my videos can help even one student, that's gonna be the best rewards to me. Okay, so you can see that not only my student is real watching my video and she's also taking the notes down, which is I checked the notes. It's very good, it's very clear and very systematically. Thank you very much. And good luck, Isabella. And I think if you keep working on that, and you're definitely going to be achieve your own improvement during these holidays. Okay, that is really encouraging to me. Thank you. Okay, let's through a one question, a sample question. That's the question I modified from the sample test of the thinking skill in the selective. And through this question, we're going to review the whole process of problem solving, like we discussed in the class. So the whole problem solving in our process, we divide them into 3 different sessions, right? The first session we all know is called identify the problem. Right? Identify the problem means not only reading the problem, by identify the problem is by understand the problem. We'll have our own expectation to say, oh, this question, what might be the strategy we should use for solving this question? For example, this question asking us, which of the following statement must be true? So after we read this problem, this question, we might have the expectation to say, okay, if you ask me which of the statement must be true, then probably, very likely, the strategy I'm going to using, it should be trial and error. Because you asked me which one is true. So the specific strategy I'm thinking about is I will try each statement into the question to see which one is true. Right? That is called identify the problem. By understanding the question, we should have our own expectation to see, oh, that might be the best strategy. Even this one can be adjusted later by knowing more information, but that's not to say that after we read the question, we should not have anything to predict. Right? Of course, we should have something in our expectation to see which is the best strategy we need to do. Okay, second one, after we understand the problem, the second one will be choose the information. Right? By choosing information, we firstly have to understand what's the information we has been told. For example, in this question, what's the information that have been given to us? Each card in a set of 15, of course, the first information we need to notice is that they got 15 cards. Right? They got 15 cards in the whole set, and each card has 3 shapes on it: triangle, square, and a circle. Right? They either have the triangle, has a square, or have the circle. And equally inside this shape, they have the number from 1 to 8. Firstly, we have to understand is from 1 to 8, how many numbers there? Yeah, some students, when they read the question, read the information, they might just easily understand, go there to say, oh, from 1 to 8. Let's see, okay, it's 1 to 8. But here, from us, as the good problem solver, we need to know is from 1 to 8, how many numbers were there? It's 8 numbers, right? Yes, it's 8 numbers. So this given us another question to think about. Okay, if every shapes we put 8 numbers there, how many cards will be in total? Will be 24. But here we know we only got 15 cards, which means so we should know even the question don't telling us, but we can get from the given information is not every single number will be showing in each shapes. It's not enough, right? It's not enough cards. So only 15, which means some numbers they might not showing in any of these shapes. Right? Which way it is, we don't know, but that is a very, very accurate and a very, very reasonable predictions that we can have. That's the information we can deduce out. Right? So that's the second one. Third one, no two cards are identical. Identical means exactly same. No two cards are same. When we say no two cards are same, which means every cards are different. From the information we know so far, what do you mean by the two cards are different? We got two elements on the cards, right? One is the shape, one is number. So can we say these two cards are same? No. Even the number is same, but there's the shapes are different, right? Can we say these numbers are same? No, we can't. Even the shapes are same, but the numbers are different. So not identical means either the shape or their number will be different, right? That's called not identical. Yeah, that's called the truth information. Truth information is not simply just reading the information. We have to combine all the information together to get as much as the information out behind the information they give to us. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, another key information which we cannot afford to say is the only number that appeared in both square and circle is 7. Okay, another information they're telling us is the only number both showing us in the circle and in the square is 7. Now they're asking us which following statement must be true. Okay, that's after we know, okay, that's all the information you told me. So before we try each of the option, so I think the third step for us will be choose the strategy. What strategy we might using for this question? Like we said, try and error. After we read all the information, we know try and error is the correct one. This question definitely we need to do try and error. But the thing is, before we try, like I said, try and error. Try is always easy, but how do we tell if this statement is working or not? So far, we do not know any information yet, right? And secondly, before you try each of the statement, you can see 3 of them have at least some cars in the shapes. At least, if there's at least 6 cards in triangle, what does that mean? What else we know? There are only 3 shapes, right? If at least 6 cards from triangle, what does that mean? What else that we can deduce out from this statement? At least 6 are in triangle, which means at most, they're going to be 9 cards because total is 15 from square and circle, right? That's very easily to be deduced out, right? So same thing, at least 6 cards with square, which means we know at the most there should be 9 cards from triangle and the circle. Because if you have only 6 cards, at least 6 cards from square, so we know that from triangle and the circle, at most it should be 9. That's something that we can expect. Okay, now if we know that is what we get this already, then let's have a look for this question. What do we try? We try each of the options here. Since they told us is say, okay, 3 options have at least 6 cards, right? Either in triangle, square, or circle. What am I thinking about is, okay, I'll look at the shape first. So since the information you told me to say the only number in square and in the circle is 7. The only number here is in the 7. And also this question telling us totally we had 8 numbers, right? 8 numbers. That means besides 7, except 7, for rest of the number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, for rest of these 7 numbers, they are either in square or in circle, but not in both. Yeah, that's also maximally. That's if they including all the numbers from 1 to 8. Just like just now we know already, not every number will be showing in each shapes because totally we only got 15. We have no enough spots for all the numbers showing in each um, shapes. But here, we can just assume because we only know that 7 is the only number showing in square and the circle, which means if we can assume maximally the all rest of 7 numbers from 1 to 8, except the 7, they are showing in square or circle, they only can showing in one of them, right? Which means if 1 goes to square, it has no way to be in circle, right? Which means if 2, they goes in square, they have no way to be to the circle. Same thing. If number 3 is go to circle, it has no way to be go to square. So which means these 7 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, these 7 numbers, if they showing in the square and the circle, maximally how many more cars we can create it except the 7? We can create it maximally another 6 cars, right? We can create it maximally another 6 cars, right? Okay. Oh, sorry. We can maximally create another 7 cars. Sorry, it's not 6. Yeah, it's 7. It's 7 cars, right? Maximally. Yeah, either you go to square or you go to circle. Maximally, you got a 7. Yeah, you get 7 cars. But don't forget, you still got 2 cars here already, which is number 7. So, which means for square and circle, square and circle, if you including all the numbers from 1 to 8, maximally, which means at most, you can create it 2 plus 7 equals 9. You only can generate it 9 cars maximally. So I think when we understand these facts that we get out behind the number 7, then we can work out is all right. Since the square and the circle maximally you only can get 9 cards. Totally I got 15. So which means another 6 card is can come and only can come from triangle, right? Only can come from triangle. But don't forget here, if you maximally can generate the 9 cards, which means for triangle, I'm gonna be say at least I should have 6 cards from triangle. Because square and the circle, they can maximally generate 9, so that give us at least 6 cards is from triangle. So that's why this question we're gonna choose B. Yeah, so this is telling us the whole process about identify the problem, choose the information, and try the strategy until we get the correct answer. But to be honest, problem-solving question, in the classes, we're talking about 7 common strategies we are using for the problem solving. But in the real test, I need you to practice to get familiar with all this common strategy. I'm gonna say 90% of all the questions can be solving by the 7 common strategies we learn and we practice, right? But there's could be a scenario that in your real test, if you really have no idea after you try each of the strategy, you still cannot work it out. My best option I will giving to you is for a problem solving question. Don't spend unlimited time on it. Okay, so if it's maximally 2 minutes on it, if you really cannot work it out, mark this question, right? Choose any answers you can think you can do and leave this question here. And when you finish all the rest of the question, if you have time, comes back for this question. If you don't, okay, just basically guess what? Don't spend the time on it because as the times frame that we know every question will under the time pressure. right? We have to allocate the questions more wisely to all the questions, not spend one questions on too much time on one questions. Okay, that is some advices I can give to you for the problem solving question. Through this question, I just want to go through with you the whole process of problem solving. Okay, hopefully this process can helping you to review other questions in the problem solving. When you made a mistake, especially the wrong question you did, try to use these 3 steps to analyze the question before you can see which answer is the correct one. Okay, hopefully today's video is gonna help you. Okay, guys, we stop here today. Bye.